Howdy YouTube, Darlington Farm here, coming at you for the first time from the new shop. This is pretty exciting. I'm really excited to get out here and get some woodworking going on. I got to run off a little short run of molding here, so I thought I would show everybody kind of how that works. And one thing I love about the new building here is that I'm out in the country again. My other shop, if you'll remember or go back and look at my really early videos there, or videos from about a year or so ago, was in town, and I couldn't run early in the morning. It's like 6:30 in the morning and I can come out here and make all the noise I want. It's great. So let's get going here. I already have the blanks ripped, and we're gonna run them through the molder here. So come on, let's go. Alrighty, so if you have never run one of these machines before, the key, especially when you're running oak or some sort of really splintery wood like that, is as you run one piece through, butt the next piece up against that. And if you don't, this is what can happen. It goes in there and just goes crazy. And then I didn't notice it until the next piece going through there, but I had a chip, or one of those splinters rather, jammed up in there. So I had to disassemble this thing to get it out of there because it was wedged up in there, and this feed roller was jammed in the up position and wasn't providing any, any downforce to push the wood or material through there. So yeah, always fun and exciting. I really detest running oak. I just have to run some of this here and really hate running that stuff. I always end up doing maybe 15% extra whenever I do a lot like that, just because it seems like invariably you get either something like this or something stupid. And if you're not careful when you're running this, anytime the molder runs into something, you'll get like a little burn mark right there. Oak is really bad about oak is really bad about either chipping if you run it too fast or burning if you run it too slow. So generally what I will do is I'll make a molding like this in 3 cuts. This one has had the first one on here. As you see, the profile is not complete. Should be round up here. So I just do kind of a first hog off pass, and then this one has seen the second pass. Right there, see if it'll focus in on it. There we go. Yeah, that's where the profile is complete. And then I will usually run it through a third time, which is just taking off maybe, a 64th. And right there, generally, I'll just, take off maybe a 32nd or 64th for that last pass, just enough to kind of remove anything. And I'll generally run that kind of fast just to make sure I don't get any burning or anything stupid. But anyway, I got to get this thing back together here. Oh, also the feed rollers, which, like I said, there's an in feed roller and an out feed roller. The down pressure is provided by these little guys here, and depending on the wood, you can adjust these. I had to kind of crank them down a little bit more because I generally run poplar molding. That seems to be the biggest seller around here, and you can kind of, since that's a softwood, you can kind of run these kind of light and really crank your footage through there, which is really nice for making money. But you got to switch, you got to kind of play around with this type molder when you go back to a harder wood like oak, or like a wood that likes to chip out like oak. And then I generally will kind of crank these suckers down, and yeah, that provides the pressure for the feed rollers there. And then this electric motor here, like I said, is the chain drive underneath there for them. So anyway, I'm gonna see if this thing works now. Alright, so there's the finished molding. That's a chair rail, And yeah, I really detest working with oak. Yeah, it just splinters and chips and burns and is kind of a pain. I still have this stack to finish here, but I ran out of time this morning. I got to get on to some other projects here, but I thought I'd take you through the process. Generally, I just use one of the lumber racks, load it up with wood, slide the wood off there. I'll thickness it on the thickness planer over here. I forget what model Powermatic that is. Joint it, joint a straight edge on it on the jointer here. Run it on the table saw there. I have gone back and forth with using a track saw or just buying it with a straight line already ripped on it. For molding, I find that the jointer is plenty good enough until you get to about 12, 14 feet, and if the board is really warped, you end up taking off so much with the jointer that it kind of wastes some. But so generally, if I'm going to be doing a big lot of molding, I'll just buy it straight line ripped. Otherwise, I'll just do it on the jointer there. Then I put the back cuts on everything with this Powermatic shaper here. This is a PM27. I just have a stop block there attached, so you feed the wood in there and it can't move, and it just makes a back cut. There's the back cutter there, and this is ridiculously fast. I also run moldings on this shaper as well, but this particular profile would be very difficult to run on the shaper there with a cutter head in it. So right now all this was run on my ShopFox here. And then, yeah, anyway, hope you enjoyed the video. You can check up there. YouTube has this new cards thing where they pop up, and there will be links to some of my other video playlists and whatnot. And, yeah, hope you enjoyed the video. Please comment, rate, and subscribe, and just check back the channel here for more content.